It's a beautiful day on New Day Cleveland. I'm David Moss, and we are on a road trip, folks, that you are going to really enjoy. 60 miles southeast of Cleveland. We are in Youngstown. Youngstown, of course, was a booming steel town. And then, of course, the economy crashed. That was quite a while ago. And now they are on the rebound, and we've got some beautiful things to show you. Some great places to eat, to shop, and, of course, just enjoy the natural beauty. Andrew Pratt, how are you, sir?
Good, how are you?
I am in the middle of heaven. I'm feeling pretty good about this place. Where exactly are we, and what is this?
Well, you're here at Fellows Riverside Gardens, which is part of Mill Creek Metro Park System. We're a 4,500 acre park, and we here at the gardens are a 12-acre botanical display garden.
Did I learn that this is the oldest park in the state of Ohio?
That's right, yeah, we were founded in 1891.
So I know there's a mill on the property somewhere, there's gardens, there's a museum inside the building here?
That's correct, yeah, we have a gallery, a museum, a gift shop, a cafe. It's a wonderful place.
But it's no day to be indoors, and that's why we're outdoors in this beautiful garden. How many different acres and plants do you have here?
About 12 acres, give or take, of different types of contrived bed spaces. We have a rose garden as well, too. It's a modern rose garden with about 1,300 roses in the garden, so that's a phenomenal garden to see come early June or so. This time of year, we have about 40,000 bulbs in bloom across the grounds.
And if you're not here in spring, like say you want to come here in the fall, how would it appear to be different here?
Well, the gardens change with the seasons. That's the beauty of it, if you will. There's fall color on all the trees here. We have different displays with mums and whatnot across the grounds, and it's a beautiful place year round.
So we talked a little bit about the history of the park. How did the park get started, and what keeps it going?
Sure. Volney Rogers founded the park in 1891. And the gardens itself here where you stand were founded in 1958. The first gardens went in about 1963 or so here, being the modern rose garden. Mm-hmm. And we've since evolved. We keep adding to the gardens and keep improving the grounds that you see. You're
only here a short time, and you walk around and you see things you haven't seen before. I love the beautiful gazebo out there. But there is a massive tree out there that I've never seen this tree before.
Yeah, it's a Katsura tree, Cercidophyllum is the genus on that tree. It's an Asian species tree. It's a fantastic old specimen tree, probably among one of the first trees planted here when the gardens went in.
And he told me, like, if you pick a leaf off the tree towards the end of the year and you rub it, it smells like
cotton candy. Yeah.
It's a cotton candy tree. Hey, so I know there's a lot of kids here too. So this is a place that people or the schools bring their children also to learn and enjoy the surrounding.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a lot of educational classes here. We have social events on occasion, and it's just a great fun place to bring the family out.
Do you find people come here and they get ideas for their own gardens? And can you help people at all in terms of giving them information and learning?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say majority of our plants here across the grounds are labeled. Both our perennialized collection and both our session collection and also our temporary plants that are on display as well too. So if you want to get some ideas for home, you can pop out here and check it out and see what we have here in bloom.
And it seems like the building behind me, there was quite a bit of activity when I came in, so there's a lot going on in there too.
Yeah, we have a cafe that's open 6 days a week in there as well too, and we have a gift shop that's a fantastic gift shop, always busy. So bring the family out, bring the friends.
Now, the biggest thing to me, now we're talking about Mossman prices and all that, what does it cost to come out here?
It's free. Yeah.
Mossman prices.
Yeah, you can't beat it.
How can you beat that? Well, what do you think? This is our first stop in Youngstown. A lot of great places to visit, you think?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, this is one of them.
Yeah, this is one of them, and I heard there's some great Italian food here.
That's right.
There's pizza here.
That's right.
There's shopping.
Yep.
So I think we're going to get this show started right now. So New Day Cleveland is going to go eat. That's right. Let's go get something to eat. That's what we'll do.
So Cassese's MVR is a family restaurant that has been in Youngstown, Ohio, in the same location in an area as an old ethnic neighborhood known as Smoky Hollow since 1927. I am fourth generation, and my brother and my mother and I are currently running the business. This business started as this neighborhood was thriving, when the steel mills were thriving in the 20s and the 30s and the 40s, and people were getting off work. My great-grandparents would provide soup and coffee and sauce to those working. And it eventually had such a success that they decided to move their house to the rear of the property and create this business in 1927. I think one of the coolest things that I take a lot of pride in, that is really neat and unique with this business, is how often my mother is sitting with someone who has been coming here for 25 years. How often I'm talking to someone and they say, you know, my great-grandfather sat with your grandfather or your great-grandfather at this end of the bar. I don't take that for granted. There's a lot of pride in the fact that we're here and we've been doing it for that long, and really how unique it is to have a business that is intertwined with people's families. We have an assortment of Italian food. That's where we're based. We're pasta based, and that is basically where our menu thrives, and we build everything around it. Our appetizers, homemade Italian greens. We have one that we call the MVR Italian potatoes, where we take an oven brown potato with roasted red peppers and our fresh tossed Italian greens, and it's one of our number one sellers. We also about a decade ago introduced pizza to our menu, and it's a homemade pizza, and I think that there is certainly an understanding from your customer base that they are not getting something that sits on a shelf. They're homemade, handmade recipes passed down. The Mahoning Valley is a great place to live, and we have a great following, and the coolest thing about the business is how often on a weekend I see a family that comes in multiple times a month, and then at the same time I'm introduced to a family that's never been here. And I think that that's kind of the exciting part about the business, to know that things are pretty good and we're working hard to make sure that they stay good, but at the same time you have new customers for a business that's been here since 1927, and that's pretty neat. We're really fortunate. We started bocce in the late 70s. We now have 4 courts. We have over 80 teams in our summer league. So bocce runs 6 nights a week, Monday through Saturday. We have 2 starting times. We have teams that play at 6 o'clock, and then we have teams that play, 8:15 to 8:30. It's such a great mesh. I saw a team last night, and their son is now playing, and they said, Joe, we have been playing in the league for 17 years, and he is 17, and said, hey, listen, I want in. So we made a roster spot for him. So a lot of pride in something like that. We're off the beaten path, so I never take for granted a customer walking through the door. I hope that when they get here, they enjoy themselves. They have a great meal, that they say, hey, this was really good and was affordable. We can bring our family back here. And I think I would love for them to look around and realize that we're not just a place that serve them some pasta. We're a place that this is my home. This is where I've grown up. I take a lot of pride in it. And if you look at the pictures, you'll see that there's a really unique history behind this building. And for us to be in the same location, I think it just says a lot about just Youngstown in general, the Valley, and how lucky we are to be here with the great friends and family that surround us.
Okay, you can't go on a road trip without some shopping, right? But first, the perfect way to satisfy your sweet tooth. Welcome back to New Day Cleveland, an hour trip through downtown Youngstown, and right in the middle of it all, there's a place with over 50 toppings for hot dogs. It's called Suzie's Dogs and Drafts. That's right, they're creating happiness through food.
Suzie's Dogs and Drafts is a gourmet hot dog shop first and foremost. The owner's idea for when he first started the place was to bring everybody back to their childhood, in a sense, with non-alcoholic and alcoholic milkshakes. All these crazy toppings for hot dogs, and live music is kind of what we're essentially focused on. We have 6 different types of dogs, including, I think the most popular one now is the bacon wrap dog. It's deep fried bacon wrap. It's delicious. Not good for you, but it's delicious. And we do 60 plus toppings, including deep fried crickets, SpaghettiOs, whipped marshmallows, and then your normal stuff like chili, cheese, onions. It's all customizable. You choose your dog, your bun, and then any toppings you want. We do have specialty dogs on the back in case it gets a bit too confusing. 60 toppings can be overwhelming, but we have staff here to help answer questions and everything like that. When I first got here, I really liked the blueberry mustard. That's been a staple of ours. Sriracha cream cheese, self-explanatory. And bourbon bacon jam is kind of my pride and joy. That's what I added to the menu, and it seems to be a big hit. We're family friendly mostly during the day. It is a college town. So as soon as that sun goes down, the college kids come out. But we accommodate to everybody for sure. It's been really cool to see. I've been here for 3+ years, And even in that little bit of time, and with 6 new restaurants within the last couple years opening up, you see a different crowd coming in, you see different attitudes from people too. Not everyone's doom and gloom like they once were, you know, so there's a lot of excitement around the area. All the decor is chalk work basically. Customers do it, staff does it, so it's people contribute to it from like the Youngstown crowd contributes to it. It's in a very old building, goes back to the 1800s. It was the original police station for Youngstown. So we have these old bones, it's a really good feel. And staff-wise, we try to make everyone feel like family here. This is an entertainment hub, is what Youngstown is really based off of. There's a lot of things to do. We just are opening up a hotel next week. There's somewhere within walking distance that you can go to visit every part of Youngstown, the Historical Society parts of it too. And you just have to walk away from your room. Wednesday nights we have a hip hop night. We do live music on the weekends from punk rock to indie to heavy metal. And then family friendly during the day and business people and everyone you could possibly imagine. That's kind of what Youngstown is. It's a mixture of all different kinds of people. So. Once a month we donate to a local rescue mission. We ask customers to purchase a pay it forward dog and we match every dollar amount that is provided. Sometimes we provide a little bit more, but we want to let Youngstown know that we're here for them, so because we wouldn't be anything without them. It's a unique experience. It's one of a kind. You can't get a Suzie's experience anywhere else that I've been told or find out. So it's not your pizza, it's not pasta, it's not burgers, just burgers, but it's an experience and something different. You know?
Okay, it's time to sweeten things up at One Hot Cookie.
One Hot Cookie is a unique dessert destination. So we do cookies, brownies, ice cream, our signature popcorn line. We've got signature dog cookies. If you have a sweet tooth, this is the place to be. My daughter and I started One Hot Cookie on a whim back in 2013. It came out of our love of sweets. So we opened a cookie bakery and made it everything that is us. So you'll see as you glance around here, a lot of the furniture that's in here came out of her bedroom. We decided to use our dogs in the marketing. So this is sort of a manifestation of everything that we have done up until that point. So cookies are our thing. We offer 2 different types. Traditional cookies, which are just like what you would think of, chocolate chip, double chocolate chip, sugar, snickerdoodle, peanut butter, oatmeal, raisin, regular cookies. And then we also do what we call specialty cookies, which are our traditional cookies kind of amped up a notch. So we make our own frosting and do our own flavors on top of them, and then we take traditional sweet flavor combinations that you're used to and we put our own spin on them. So we do a salted caramel pretzel cookie, we do a cookies and cream cookie, we do a banana pecan, we do death by chocolate. So we just kind of put our own twist on flavor combinations that you're used to. Death by chocolate is one of our most popular ones. It's a double chocolate chip cookie with our signature chocolate frosting, brownie bits, Oreo crumbles, mini chocolate chips, and chocolate sauce, just for good measure. We decided to add brownies to the mix, and we are making our fresh brownies every day, and then we serve them hot. You can get any cookie topping on a brownie, and it's even better when you put it over cold ice cream. Kate Middleton is one of our mascots. So when we first started, we didn't have any money for advertising. We barely had any money for furniture. So we started using our pug, Fredo, as the mascot for One Hot Cookie. And Fredo was a pug and everyone loved him, and he would come in here because my daughter and I were working all the time. So Fredo would lay and the customers would come in and play with him, and sometimes they would even come in just to see him, which was crazy. But sadly Fredo passed away, and we decided after a period of time that we were ready for another dog. So we worked with the Ohio Pug Rescue and got Kate Middleton. Kate loves One Hot Cookie, and now she also has a partner in crime, and that's Remington, our yellow lab. So Kate and Remy are our cookie dogs. And because of our love of both cookies and dogs, we've come up with our signature dog cookies called Cookie Dog Cookies. And they are all natural, homemade. They're made with a peanut butter, honey, and oat base. So they're also good for humans, but dogs love them too. So when you walk into a One Hot Cookie, first of all, you're going to smell the cookies. We actually have developed a signature line of candles that is based on that scent, because we wanted every day people come in and they're like, it smells so good in here. So we recreated that scent in candle form. But when you walk in, we want it to be fun, we want it to be whimsical. we want it to be all about having a good time, because you can eat cookies at home, but so when you come to One Hot Cookie, we really want it to be an experience. We want it to be something that you remember. Truly, we never in a million years could have thought that One Hot Cookie would become the success that it is. We have 3 stores that we own now, 2 in the Mahoning Valley, 1 in Pittsburgh, and then we just sold our first franchise in Holmes County, Ohio. So we are looking to expand further west into Ohio, and we're super excited about it.
Still to come on New Day Cleveland, we're exploring Youngstown and checking out one of the city's food staples, pizza. Welcome back to New Day Cleveland and our trip through Youngstown. And you know what? This is one of those cities that's had a lot of highs and lows. But through all those lows and on the way to some of those highs, for over 40 years, a family has been delivering exactly what people want: pizza. Wedgewood Pizza.
Wedgewood Pizza, to put it simply, is old school, old-fashioned, family, straight in your face pizza only, and darn proud of it too. It came to be in 1967 when my father immigrated to this country and got married. Long story short, he suffered an injury in the steel industry, so to speak. That was, everybody came to work here. So a good friend of his had a small business and he needed a partner. They wanted to expand it. He says, it's time for me, I need help. I don't have family members and such. And basically it turned out to be good therapy for my dad working with the dough. So the 2 of them together developed all the recipes, the sauce, the dough, based on generations of being Italians and with their mothers. So the grandparents' recipes basically. And today we still use the same dough recipe, the sauce recipe. We make it exactly the same today like we did 51 years ago. And I could attest to that because as a child at age 5, when my father would have to babysit us, I would have to help out and make the dough. And I learned at an early age. So I've been in this business my whole life. 87 years old, he comes in every single day. I think he works harder than all of us. He thinks he doesn't, but he does. He does. I try to get him to take it easy and not to be so physically strained, because he doesn't need to be. That's why he has us here, my sister, my family members. He doesn't need to. The most popular is our house special. Very simple, green peppers and pepperoni. That's one of the ones that he started with when they first started. Our toppings were very simple. There was a dozen toppings, such as the original everything, and that is called that because those were the only toppings available in the 60s. We didn't have the broccoli, the spinach, chicken bacon ranch. That was unheard of. Pineapple. And matter of fact, my father was one of the first people in this area to ever put pineapple on the pizza. We can handle large orders, as you can see by the ovens there. Large orders. Now what we do every morning, which is still unique to us, we still make the dough the same way every single morning. And it's a lot of work, it's a tedious job, and it's 4 to 5 people every morning come in at 6 in the morning, and we still use the 50-pound bags of flour, the blocks of yeast. It's very old school, hands-on. We don't have a machine that presses out the dough. Every dough is beat out by hand. My father didn't want me in this business. He wanted me to become an attorney. And basically I was a month away from law school, and I said, Dad, my heart is not there, my heart is here. It's very special, I appreciate it, I love it. I'm like, I hope, knock on wood, I tell people all the time, God willing, we'll be around for generation after generation. It's very special, I'm proud of it. A lot of people look down on it, oh, my family, have to be part of this. Now I hold my head up high because I understand where my father came from. 3rd grade education, no command of the English language at all. I see what he did and what he sacrificed. And it's more than just the product itself. I tell people all the time, engage. I always tell this to my employees. It's nice to hear where people are coming from and why they come here. And I want them to know, this is what we do here. Thank you for coming here. And I like to show them. I always give them a tour. I'm proud of it. I'm not going to shy away from it that I'm old school. I love it,
The Wedgewood family has been operating these restaurants for 3 generations. And of course, they're located in Youngstown, and there are several locations. Okay, our next stop is going to take us downtown to a place where you get a beer without ever talking to a bartender.
So Whistle and Keg is the area's first self-service beer and wine and cider bar. It's a tasting room in downtown Youngstown where you control your own experience when you're here. Everything is run through a wristband and activates tablets that we have, over 44 tablets, and everything is poured by the ounce. So you can try as little or as much as you like. And like I said, when you're here, you control your own experience as to how much, how little, what styles of beer, wine, ciders you'd like to try.
When it's time to pour, you simply take our logo from our wristband and touch it to our logo on the frame of the tablet, and a green light will shine. That means it's time to pour.
By the 10th of the ounce, literally, that's what you pay for. So if you pour 1.3 ounces and then you decide to leave, that's what you pay for, and your day's done. My brother and I are the owners. We do have a management team in place as well, but we run it and are here as often as we can be. But we do have a great staff here as well.
The name Whistle and Keg comes from the original brake whistle that we have mounted on the outside of the building from Youngstown Sheet and Tube, which was Ohio's #1 employer for many, many years, and it was right here. It was part of what built this city. And it's a fabric of this community. And we have that original brake whistle. It blows off every single day at noon and 4. And then when we're feeling like it, we blow it off other times too. But that's where the name comes from.
I wouldn't necessarily call ourselves big beer heads or craft beer aficionados by any stretch. However, we went to a place that had a similar setup a couple of years ago in South Carolina, and fell in love with the way your experience went. Being able to try different beers and different drinks of sorts, to not be committed to a full pour of anything. And we loved it so much we wanted to bring it to Ohio, and more specifically Youngstown to start with. And we're the first round with it, and we've just have had a good time with it. You know, the idea is to keep a nice selection and rarities. You know, the idea here is a tasting room. So not necessarily to walk in and say, oh, well, I've had that beer 1,000 times, I'm gonna get it again, or here. So the idea is to kind of maybe be a little bit out of your comfort zone, take a little bit of a risk on what you might try. Because if you don't like it, you might only have poured, a half an ounce, and you can move on to the next one. And so we just try to keep a nice selection, rotate it around, and different breweries, different locations, different styles, different flavors, you name it. We try to run the gamut here.
We pride ourselves in doing something, offering events, offering live music. Every Friday and Saturday, we do local musician evenings. We have yoga workshops that we'll do here. We have book groups, and we do a variety of different things, different theme nights. So I would say out of 7 days in the week, 4 of those days we have some sort of an event going on.
So we have some basic snack foods here, chips and salsa, pub cheese dip, pretzels, potato chips. But we also have an open food policy, and so any of the great local establishments in the downtown area, we have a complete open food policy. You can order, a lot of them will deliver it here or pick it up and bring it in. So again, you kind of just, it goes back to that whole control your own experience. You eat the style and types of food you want while you're drinking the style and types of beer that you like.
I think today, as we sit, it's already to the point of a viable city for many, many businesses, and it's only getting better. And it takes the uniqueness of businesses like Whistle and Keg and some of the other great establishments down here, which we currently have and are continuing to grow. So we're nothing but positive for the city of Youngstown. I think anyone who comes from out of town and enjoys some of the great concerts at the Cavelli Center, we hear the same thing, all the praise that the city is getting to create a great experience for everybody.
Whistle and Keg changed the menu and the beer selections all the time, but you can discover what's new on Facebook. Okay, now it's time to head back to Mill Creek Park and discover one of the county's most historic landmarks. Welcome back to New Day Cleveland. Our road trip to Youngstown continues, and we are at Mill Creek Metro Park and visiting Lanterman's Mill with Greg, who is the mill manager.
How are you today?
I'm great. Is the weather always like this every time you come to the mill?
I wish it was. We've been waiting for a couple months now, and it's the first we've seen any sunshine.
It is fantastic. And I tell you, you come over the bluff here across the bridge and you look down at the mill, it just takes you back in time. How far back in time are we going here?
This building is 173 years old, this mill, and it's the third mill to sit on this property. First mill went in the late 1700s, so they've been using this for a long time.
So is this one of those things where the mill gets destroyed by something and they have to rebuild it?
The second mill went down in a flood. Yeah, that's why they built this one up on this massive foundation. They didn't want that happening again.
Okay, so a lot of people, I'm sure, don't even know what a mill is. So a mill is made to grind grain into
Flour, cornmeal. We do 4 different kinds of flour here. We do cornmeal, whole wheat flour, buckwheat flour, and rice flour.
And we're right in the middle of a running track here too, so that is pretty cool. Like when the people run by here,
Very busy down here.
They get to see this beautiful mill. Now, as beautiful as it is outside, when you go inside, you really are taking a trip back in time. So how many levels are there, and what makes a mill
It's
a mill?
a 9-story building, and you can wander around on 8 stories, but there's ultimately only 5 levels.
So when I walked into the first time, I walked down to the lowest level, which is down a whole bunch of steps, and that's where you see the big wheel. And that's sort of the guts of it, right?
That's the heart of the mill. That drives all our machinery, and without that, we couldn't grind the flour. It turns the stones, it turns the sifting machines, it does everything for us.
You know, so you think back to 170 some years ago, and you think people weren't very sophisticated or whatever, but when you see all these gears and the way this thing operates, it's really a fantastic piece of machinery.
It's amazing that they come up with this and we're able to do this. And actually, once it's up and running, it's basically automated. One man can run the whole process. I kind of doubt they had one man doing it, but it is possible that they could have done it that way.
And that's where the millers come from, the millman. And he's probably one of the most, how do you say, wealthy people in town.
Typically, because all the farmers had to come to him. You
Yeah.
know, there was very little or no industry at that time. So,
Yeah.
you know, everybody was farming, and without the miller, they couldn't grind their grain.
So I started our journey and our conversation down at the bottom because you got to see that wheel. But the wheel, that's where the power begins. But the real process then starts on the very top floor, doesn't it?
Yes, that's where our millstones are, and we grind the flour there. And once the flour is being ground, there's an elevator system that takes it up to the attic, and it drops it down into 2 machines called bolters, which actually sift the flour.
Yeah, I'm sure some people have heard of Rube Goldberg, and it's sort of like a Rube Goldberg kind
What
of
it
thing.
looks like, but it works very well. Yeah.
Yeah, I love those little elevators too. So the grain falls from upstairs, and it falls down to the millstones. They're inside those wood containers.
Right.
And then that's where the grinding takes place.
As it's being ground, the stone is throwing it out towards the side, and it's being picked up by the little elevator cup, and then it goes to the attic and drops down into the bolting machines.
Okay, now is this just something you just look at to see how it works, or do you guys actually make grain?
We actually still grind and sell the flour here.
So what kind of different grains do you grind, and what kind of flour do you get?
We use whole wheat. We make whole wheat flour, which is actually whole grain.
It's pretty healthy.
Typically it is, but when you buy it in the grocery store, it's really not as healthy because they're still sifting some of the good stuff out.
Yeah.
Whereas we don't sift anything anymore except buckwheat because the hull is not digestible. It wouldn't hurt you, but it's not digestible.
So if you want organic, natural, and right from the way they've done it for a couple hundred years, this is where to go.
No preservatives whatsoever.
Mill Creek Metro Parks, and the mill is called the
Lanterman's Mill.
Lanterman's Mill. I gotta tell you what, it is a lot of fun to check out, especially on a beautiful day like this, right?
Absolutely.
But if it's not a beautiful day and you get your family out here, because I recommend bringing the whole family to this. This is just a beautiful spot. But if it's raining and you want to do something a little indoors, maybe the kids are going to like it, I say, oh wow.
Oh Wow is a children's science center that promotes a lot of engagement, edutainment, which is a word that we made up that combines that education and that entertaining philosophy together. One of the words we're trying to get in the dictionary, by the way. And a lot of hands-on STEM-related exhibits, over 60 to be exact. Everything, again, is based on STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. So all of the exhibits have the ability to teach a child something that centers around science. So, for example, our water table, the laminar, teaches the Bernoulli principle, which also is something that helps airplanes fly. Our erosion table teaches about deposition. Okay, so every exhibit that we have teaches a child something scientific. And if they don't want to learn from me, we have a lot of signage that we can put up so that the parents and the educators and whoever they're with can learn as well. So the scientific process of inquiry, okay, what do you see, what can you change, and how can you modify it, right? And then what happens after you change it? So simple processes that we boil down to just those 3 simple questions, okay? Yeah, really neat, something that's established in the schools, but we take that and we put it here and we keep it real simple. One thing we like to stress here is less is more, and it's probably good sometimes. It used to be the food pyramid. Well, now we've kind of upgraded to my plate. Still centering on the main and the major food groups and all the importance that food has and the health habits, but farm to table. So actually going over and milking Minnie and taking the milk and bringing it right to the kitchen and boiling it, or taking it, taking the chickens and getting an egg and taking them right to your table, as opposed to going through that process where they go to this store and all that processing that goes on and adding sugars and things that aren't so good for us. Obviously if you get, to be an adult, you pretty much throw it out the window, but for a child, you want to skip those processes where you're adding things that may be detrimental to their growth. One of our most favorite and prized possessions is the makerspace. So one of the things that we really engage upon and stress here at OWOW is encouraging the parents and the staff and the teachers to allow the children to kind of blossom through making things. So our makerspace provides the ability to take recycled, upcycled, refurbished materials. We get a lot of donations and we put them out on the shelves. And we allow the children a blank slate or a blank platelet or a blank canvas, and you make whatever you would like. So it gives that child the ability to do whatever they want that's here and use their hands. I got to use one word: priceless. I mean, you can't put a price tag on it, because when you see a child or you hear a child laugh, there's really no price tag on it, and it makes them come back for more. And one of the things that we always stress here is allowing the people to come back and things change so that it doesn't get mundane. And you come back and go, oh wow, that wasn't here the last time we were here. Or, watching a child build something and go, Mommy or Daddy, look what I did all on my own. So there's just no words to describe it. I think you almost have to come here and witness it yourself. And if you haven't been here, shame on you. You got to come visit.
OWOW Children's Center is open 7 days a week. Okay, when we come back, it's more New Day Cleveland, and guess what? We're going shopping. Welcome back to New Day Cleveland, and we're talking about Youngstown booming. Well, it is booming because of guys like Eddie here at V Squared Bar and Trattoria. And I walked in outside, sun is out, people are out on the sidewalk. There's a bunch of little places down here, and it's really happening on your corner here.
Yes, it has. We've been here for 7 years now, and it just keeps building and building every year. It's exciting down here.
Yeah, and I like the idea too of a wine bar. Like here it is. We're in the morning here in New Day Cleveland, and we're having a little glass of wine.
That's right. It's a good day to start off, right?
Yeah.
It's a fresh glass of Pinot Grigio.
That's why he's here 7 years. He knows what to serve, right?
Thank you.
Yeah, the kitchen's cooking back there. We talk about being a wine bar also.
Yes.
I mean, so we got a nice wine selection here, beautiful wine, but a whole bunch of crazy food items too.
Yes, we do flatbreads. We have a brick oven. We do flatbreads. We do rice balls, orchini rice balls with Italian rice.
So how do you say the rice balls?
Orchini.
Yeah.
It's an Italian rice we use.
Yeah.
With stuff with mozzarella cheese in that.
So how big are those, and how do you put those together?
There's 3 of them together on a plate with marinara sauce. They're the size of a golf ball, and they're fantastic.
Yeah, the folks are bragging on
Oh
those.
yeah, they're very good.
So I heard about a whole bunch of things that you should really order when you come here to V Squared.
Yes.
And you guys really don't make pasta then?
Yes, we do.
Oh yes.
Yes, we do. We do pastas. We
Yeah.
do cavatelli. We do spaghetti. We do raviolis. But the main thing we're known for, just as well, nobody knows, is our calamari.
Oh, no kidding.
Yes, it's a Hawaiian barbecue sauce and a Thai sauce on it. It's to die for.
And it's fun too to come to a place where you have an open kitchen. Like the open kitchen, you see everybody working, making food.
Yes, there's a rule why we did an open kitchen. Cleanliness.
Oh.
We're very anal about cleanliness. You can see how clean we are. And I want to see people how clean we are in the kitchen, because behind closed doors you don't see nothing. When it's open, you get to see it all.
Yeah.
That's what we're excited about.
I like the energy too. There's a great energy about it.
Yes, there is. There's a good vibe. You come here on Friday and Saturday nights, you can't get in the door from 10 o'clock on.
Remember that Friday, Saturday night.
We have a DJ on Friday, Saturday nights. You can't get in.
That's
It's
great.
packed.
Hey, let's talk a little bit. Okay,
Yeah.
here we are. We're at V Squared Bar and Trattoria. It's crowded on Friday and Saturday. How would you describe what's happening in downtown Youngstown right now, just in this little area where we're standing?
Well, what we could see when we were down here with us at the time, and there was another little place called the Lemon Grove down the sidewalk. As we've been down here, we've seen more and more developing coming in. Roberto's opened up across the street. Federal opened up next door. So it's starting to come together for us down here, more attraction.
Yeah, it's a great vibe, and you can do a little bar hopping down here.
Yes,
and check
yes,
it out.
yes. You can park your car, you can bar hop. Now they passed the open law container for the state, so now we're waiting for the city to go ahead and put the stamp on it for the open law container.
It's a party in Youngstown.
Yes, it is. It's
When
a
you come
downtown
in,
party.
Say hello to Eddie. It's called B Squared, and we're on the corner of what?
Federal and Federal and Phelps Street. Excuse me.
It's easy to find, and just go where all the action is. Friday, Saturday,
Yes.
it's going to be all happening right here.
It happens here. We got a nice crowd.
Hey, time to go shopping. Let's go up the street a little bit and go to a place called Ivory Birch.
Ivory Birch is a women's boutique. We're located in Boardman, Ohio, and we have home and gifts. We have a baby section. We have a little bit of everything, but we tried to create a destination boutique where people can come and get gifts for their loved ones, everything from $5 to $500, and it's kind of a community boutique too, we say, because when our customers come in with their kids, we know their names, they come in the back for fruit snacks, so it's a boutique, but it's more than that. It's a place for friends and any sort of gift you could need. If you ask my parents, I started Ivory Birch when I was like 8 years old because I changed my outfits 10 times, drove my mom crazy. But I started my career in corporate retail in Milwaukee with Kohl's, and then I worked for them in New York for a little while. And I reached a point where I just wanted to do my own thing, and this new plaza was going in. And so that was in October of 2014 we opened. And like I said, it's evolved. It started as more clothing and less home goods, and we've evolved as our customers' needs have changed and how they've let us know what they like. So. We wanted women to be able to come in and get a gift for their children's teacher, their mother-in-law, something for themselves, and something for their husband. So we expanded into, the baby section really blew up. We started with one little rack, and now it's a whole quarter of the store. There's baby and toddler stuff there. Then our home goods lines, Mackenzie Child is our #1 line in the store, and that kind of led the way for us to expand that category. We have now a huge bridal registry program that we're pushing, artwork, that sort of thing. So we still do have clothing and accessories for women, and we get new stuff every day, but we wanted to complete the picture so that it really is a one-stop shop. Especially in a smaller town like Youngstown, you don't want to see your same costume jewelry coming and going. There's some beautiful necklaces at places like J. Crew, but when you see 10 women wearing them, I find it annoying. So we tried to really find one-of-a-kind stuff, only buy 1 or 2 of the specific styles that we get. And like I mentioned before, price range was huge for us. We have $20 bracelets, we have $2,000 diamond tennis bracelets, so, and we try to appeal to a lot of different aesthetics. Bauble Bar is a great brand for us, which are fun, more fashiony earrings, but then you want to be able to get something for your grandma, she's not going to wear huge tassel earrings. So we tried to diversify our jewelry and really cover a lot of different aesthetics. Our home goods section started as one little item that I found at Market a few years ago, and we slowly expanded into more t-shirts, and everybody's really proud to be from Youngstown. A lot of people make a joke about it, but everybody that's from here that lives all over the country, we've shipped hometown merchandise to literally, we think, like 40 of the 50 states. So it started out with some mugs and some tote bags, and now we have t-shirts and coasters and trivets and jewelry and you name it. Everybody's proud to be from Ohio and proud to be from Youngstown. So we've expanded our brands on there. We have about, I would estimate, 70% of the store on our website for people to see what we have. A lot of men will come in here to buy a gift and like, I need this, and they'll show us the picture that their wife screenshot and sent to them. So it's a great marketing tool for us, but it's also it's the way of the future. So we're really focusing a lot of energy on our online website and growing it and that sort of thing. I will say, because I love Cleveland, but when people come here, they always say, this is a place you would see in Cleveland or New York or Pittsburgh, because a lot of people around here love to shop and have amazing taste, but there's not a ton of boutiques like this. There are some that cater just to clothes or just to home goods or that sort of thing, but there's really nowhere around here that has the assortment that we do. We also I try to find brands that people haven't heard of yet, or I do some shopping on Etsy, or try to find stuff that people would see in a store in a bigger city, because like I said, people here are they love the stuff, it's just a matter of having it here available for them.
When we come back, we're finishing up our day in Youngstown with a place that'll have you screaming for ice cream. Our last stop in Youngstown is a place that's been churning out ice cream since 1945, and it is cool, really cool. It's called Handel's.
Handel's homemade ice cream since 1945 is the best ice cream on the planet, hands down. We make all of our ice cream fresh every day at each location. We have 48 flavors on any given day. That includes ice cream, yogurt, ices. We make it all, and it's made fresh. So we've got a flavor with your name on it for sure. Handel's is the namesake for Mrs. Handel. And Mrs. Handel and her husband grew up on the south side of Youngstown. He had a business, he had a gas station. She grew fruits in her backyard, made ice cream for the neighbor kids. Neighbor kids kept coming to the house. Neighbor kids bring more kids and parents. And pretty soon, Mr. Handel was kind of getting tired of the crowd at his house. So he suggested to his wife, let's do ice cream at the gas station. She put ice cream in at the gas station. Pretty soon she was selling more ice cream than he was pumping gas, and that was the beginning. We've added new flavors, obviously, but we've been primarily caretakers. We do things the way that she did it. And there's something to be said to do things traditional in old-fashioned ways. We haven't veered from that. We know people that come to the window not by the name, but what they order. And it's a good place to slow things down. You saw the young child here. It's a baby's first taste. It's a first date. We're involved in so many different aspects of the family, from communions, confirmations, graduations, weddings, and we're proud of that. We appreciate the fact that people include us in big family events. You know, a lot of people, they'll come here and get a cone, and while they're having their cone, we're packing pints and quarts, so they can take it home. The greatest compliment to our business is in the wintertime when it's snowing and blowing, and we know how cold it can get, but we have people standing in line outside waiting to get great ice cream. And that, to me, says everything. Probably the favorite flavor here in Youngstown is, without a doubt, chocolate pecan. And what sets our chocolate pecan against anybody else is the nuts that we put in our ice cream. They're roasted salted butter by specific recipes. There are recipes, so nobody else has these type of things, and that separates us from some of our other folks that are in the market that are selling ice cream. Chocolate pecan, butter pecan's great, Graham Central Station, you know, and we have seasonal flavors, flavors of the month. One of the big flavors that everybody looks forward to at the end of July and beginning of August is fresh peach. Now, it's a pain in the neck to make, but everybody loves it, and we source our peaches locally. We have to blanch them, peel them, slice them, dice them, sugar them, and that's the care that we take to make the best ice cream that we possibly can. So if you've never had fresh peach ice cream, you want to put that on your bucket list. A lot of our growth now outside of Ohio stems from people that grew up in this area. They had the ice cream as a kid, they moved away, they didn't have the ice cream or anything close to what Handel's presented to them in terms of what they married or married into or studied. I mean, if you're from this area, you grew up on Handel's ice cream. You move away and you don't have it anymore and you miss it. A lot of our operators are transplants from the Youngstown area. That says a lot too.
Handel's Ice Cream has locations throughout Northeast Ohio. Well, I hope you've had a great time. I have indeed. Youngstown, just 60 miles from Cleveland, southeast of Cleveland. And I tell you what, it's only a short 1-hour drive, and some great places to visit, like this beautiful garden center. Great places to eat. I certainly liked all the places downtown. Some great places to eat and drink. It's a fun place. Youngstown is booming again, and I hope you get a chance to enjoy it. I'm David Moss, and I'll see you on the next New Day Cleveland.